we use virtual device. Virtual devices are pre-installed with your installation on Android Studio, but if any of you need more, you will have to install it. And how to install it, you will go to Device Manager. You see there is Pixel device already here, so that is your first emulator that is already installed. But if you need more, you will select plus button, create virtual device. And in a couple of dialog boxes, so this wizard will walk you through the procedure. You will select your machine that you want to install on your computer. And that machine will appear as physical device on your computer. So one thing that we must know is that when we install, every installation of emulator occupies some space on your machine, and you can run out of the space easily if you install too many devices. And the second rule is if you want to have, I don't know, what is the most advanced phone today, Android phone, S24 or what? Okay, now we will go to another discussion. But the stronger machine and newer machine is more resources it will consume. Okay. So don't overkill, don't push him too hard. When choosing Android operating system version, again, we must download that, and that is already featured on your machines here, but you will maybe you will do this on your computer at home. Again, don't overkill, don't push it too hard, don't use new operating system if you have old computer without with no enough memory. And if you finish this process, you will have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 10 maybe devices for which you will have emulators. We can always hide Device Manager by pressing this line here, but you will not probably you want it to be stored because you will use it for programming. Okay. So when we start a new project, we must run Android emulator, and when we if Android emulator is not running, when we press a run button to start this project, it will be installed in selected device. In your case, in this laboratory, we have Pixel emulator. So it will install this new application that says "Hello World" in that emulator, and it will show it on the screen. If this is the first starting of this emulator, you will probably have to wait to install all the libraries and to start to put for this machine from scratch. But because this is not the case in this laboratory, you already have Pixel installed, just press the button and take into account that it will be installed on this. So please press the play button. And what you see on your screens?
Just regular.
Just regular phone screen right now. Is it
like that on one piece?
Yes. Is it something running here? Is it something?
It's just full UI. It's just like a normal.
Hello World. You see Hello World. You same. Okay. So press the start run button if you didn't already. See now. Okay, yes, it will be. Then again, if you have a question in Serbian, be free to ask if you don't understand anything that I said. But preferred language is English in this case. And your first Android application is start up and running. Okay. Can we go further? Anybody needs my help? So you have a small computer with probably demanding operating system. Is it application running on your computer right now?
Online.
Yes, yes.
It's running.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. So after some time, we will see emulator that emulates your regular UI on your phone, and we will see application that is running. So we will go further with this example. We will dig some deeper, and we will now we will see what is main activity and what is on create method. Java on create method. Do you remember activity life cycle that we are talking about on the beginning of the course? Remember that one of hooks was on create. When we create method and write code for any of those hooks, this method will be executed automatically without any of our intervention. So we don't need to call this method. It will be created, it will be executed automatically. That is why we call such methods hooks. So when we all the code that we write here in this method will be executed every time when you start your application. This is true for activity that is main activity that will be executed first. But all other activities also have on create, their own on create, and it will be, this method will be executed on their on create methods. So every activity has its own on create method. Now here we have some code that we will explain, and we will explain what is activity. So activity is a single screen user interface. I will not cover in detail because I'm covering this from time to time during this course, but you will see, or you will have time to read this if you want on screen to pause, because we are recording these presentations and you will be available to you. So I will not repeat the parts that I already have explained. But so we must say that every Android application must have starting point. We must have starting activity, and that starting activity will have its own on create method. For example, in Java and in C programming languages, we have main function or main method, and that is starting point for application C in Java. Here, starting point is on create on first activity that we will start, that we will run. When you go to layout section, we will here see activity main XML, and this part, this design that is shown right now on screen, allow us to select widgets and to put them on the screen. And we will do that very soon by drag and drop, like in Visual Basic. I think that you all have experience with Visual Basic and with putting and drawing the components on that. Here we call them widgets. So button, text view, input box is widget here. And at the beginning of the lectures, I showed you those three buttons. Those three buttons switch the view of your activity layout. For example, if you click on this button in the middle, you'll see split. So you'll see XML code and final result here. So that is visible. What you see is what you get when you write this. You can produce this. So this is our engine that is running this user interface. XML. What is will look like XML? HTML.
Yes.
Maybe yes. Okay. So it is pretty similar. We may say that XML is older rather than HTML. So, but we will rarely change this. We will probably use Designer to put our components, and Android Studio will generate XML code for us. For now, you see this part of code text view. This is explanation of how to write, how to present this widget on the screen. So this will explain to Android where to put this widget, textual widget. And now we will change the code, and we will use it first by code. For example, instead of Android text hello world, you should put Zdravo Svijete, just to change something. And that is why we called this application Zdravo Svijete, not hello world, because we will change that here. Please note that there are apostrophes here, yes?
My code is not showing the text. I only have the first part.
And where are you? Good. Okay, all this. Anybody else need help? And thank you for your English. Okay. Can we go further? Okay. When you save your code, you will see that you will notice that this text is changed on this widget. And when you run your application again by pressing this button will refresh the parts of application in emulator, and basically every time when you press the run button, there is the same sequence of steps that are taken. First, Android Studio will compile your code. It will convert it to DEX or Dalvik executable format, and after that it will generate APT. This combination archives, compressed, of DEX, XMLs, images, and other resources, and that will be installed on device or on the Android. In this case, Android Studio will generate only parts that are changed. Sometimes it is possible for Android, and it will push only the changed parts of application on emulator or on device, and or on your device or on your physical device, you will see Zdravo Svijete. Do you see it? Yeah. So when we started to create this application, we had first dialog box. In that dialog box, we have to make some decisions. by entering parameters in that dialog box. And in that dialog box, we have determined our application future life. We have to choose minimum version of Android on which our application will run. So which version of Android do you have on your devices? 7. Okay. Others? 12. Okay. From 7 to 12. Which versions your parents have, or grandparents that are probably using your old phones? So 5. Okay. So when you choose minimum version of Android, you will choose on which devices your application will run. So that is some segment of market that you made a decision where you run your application. So this is again that dialog box. So here we choose Android 7. That was by default. So we didn't choose it; it was by default. But when you select Android 7, and when you click on this side, you will see something like this. So by selecting Android 7, you will choose 97.4% of devices on the market today on the world. So it is quite good, 97% of all market on the world. But if you choose more new or advanced version of Android, you can easily select only 13% of devices on the world. So when you select new Android version, you will have only small part of market. So you must think for what part of market you are writing your application. Do you need it to be only new version of Android? What is good and what is bad? When you select this version of Android, you will have more options, more libraries to write your application. Your application should be easier to write, but then again you will have smaller part of market in that case. So that is why we use default Android 7 as minimum version. Now, again, how does compiling looks like? So we use source code, we use resource files. Resource files are layouts, this layout are XML layout. But there are also other files that we didn't mention before that are in that folder with resources. We will use libraries from Android and from third-party producers, and we will compile that into DEX file. And we will produce DEX file, compiled resources. We will probably include some debug information in that, and after that we will produce APK for debugging or for debugging or for release version of our application. And that APK will be pushed and installed on emulator or on our device. Okay. When we finished creating or opening our Android project, so we will see, now we will cover most deeply this directory structure. This is first part, this is the most hard part for all of you to just see structure of this, because all of you that they know, maybe know the Java programming language, but some of you know the C programming language, it will be enough to cover these lectures. So when you open this tree, subdirectory tree, you will see that this is second layer, that we have more subdirectories, more files to see, and we will cover them. So main node field is called up, and that is a starting node, root node. Inside of this node, Java node, most important is main activity. It is actually its extension is .java. It is not seen here, not visible. But other Java files also exist, and their purpose is for testing. Resources directory. You have a couple of subdirectories or subfolders. For example, drawable layout, which we already covered, map values. In layout, there will be a description of layout of all activities. We will fill this later with more files. In the drawable and map, you will see images, icons, different size to show on our application. In values subdirectory, you will see sizes, numerical, textual data, which will be shown on our activities. Here should probably be menus subdirectory, which will describe menus and so on. Manifests subfolder contain Android manifests XML file, and this XML file must be present in every application. This file provides information about the application name, theme, colors, the design that is used, the main activity that will be started with, and permissions that application need to start. When we are talking about Android, when we start application on Windows operating systems, we probably noticed that Windows will give us the option to access to almost all resources of our systems. In Android, that is not the truth. We must ask permission for every resource that we will use in our application, and the end user must confirm every option, every permission. For example, if your application needs to use camera, you will must ask Android to give permission for all of users of your application. Every user will have to tap and say, okay, I will give you permission to use camera. I will give you permission to use the cloud and so on.